Big Polly's World of Sports Sims presents the Hometown Football League using Action PC Football 2020. And welcome to game number 11 of week number 6 of the HTFL, the Hometown Football League. I'm Big Polly. Today we have for you Chicago traveling to Minneapolis, Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Minnesota a 15-point favorite. I nearly hit the auto button. Thank God I did not. They'll be playing indoors at the brand new U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, the home of Prince Rogers Nelson, better known to the world as Prince, passing away a few years ago, of course. Chicago, the road team, they will be run by the computer. I will run the Minnesota Vikings, who are 4-1, and Chicago, I believe, is 1-4. Yes, they are. Minnesota won the toss, and we're going to defer to the second half. Kyle Orton and Fran Tarkenton, your quarterbacks. George Hallis and Bud Grant on the sidelines. Like I said, Minnesota a 15-point favorite. We'll get this one underway. Minnesota in the purple, Chicago in white. Hester, Sayers, and Seno back deep for Chicago. And the first kick of the game is a touchback. Setting the Chicago offensive lineup and the Minnesota defensive lineup for you. Peyton and Kelliger, your running backs for Chicago. Hill and Graham at wideout. Ditka at tight end. Orton at quarterback. Connor, Fortman, Turner, Ramsey, Covert, your offensive line. Your front four for Minnesota is going to be Eller, Dolman, Page, and Randall. Linebackers, Blair, Simeon, and Winston. Bryan, Rhodes, Browner, Kraus will be your defensive backs. And on 1st and 10, we'll see what the Bears do. They have had trouble so far in this HTFL season. They seem to be a one-dimensional team, not really good at the passing game with Orton at quarterback, and not that adept at the throwing game with Ditka's a good tight end, but Hill and Graham tend to be a little wanting. Gain of 7 by Peyton on their first offensive play. Winston on the tackle for the Vikes. 2nd down and 3. Ball to 27 to Peyton. Peyton with a head of steam, and he's got a first down. Gain of 13. And he had 104 yards against Houston last week. 1st and 10. Ball at the 40. And again, Waller Peyton running wild on this Minnesota defense that's usually very fierce. 19-yard gain that time, and on his first 3 carries, he has 39 yards. And it was Kraus who missed the tackle, and it was Joey Browner, who brought him down finally. You see him there out of USC. He had 3 tackles last week. 1st and 10, the ball resting at the 41 of Minnesota now. And that's Kelliger giving Peyton a little bit of a rest. Alan Page with the tackle, and that is for 5 yards. 2nd and 5, ball is now at the 36. We have a marker down, so check that out.
Defense, number 47, automatic, 1st down.
They get Joey Browner on the pass interference. Checking news bulletins while that was going on, seeing what's going on. I'm recording this on August 17th, and on this August 17th afternoon, the Lightning are in a playoff game, and I will record for the sake of posterity that at 4:33 in the afternoon, they have a 2-1 lead on Columbus in game number 4 of their series. That's right, they're playing playoff hockey on a Monday afternoon in August, thanks to COVID. 1st and 10, ball to 29. The give is to Peyton. Peyton cannot turn the corner. Winston brings him down. And finally, Peyton was tackled for no gain after some spectacular runs on the first 3 carries. 2nd and 10, the ball to 29. This is a screen to Peyton. Peyton was not bad out of the backfield.
Illegal shift. Offense.
But that's going to come back.
Number 81, 5-yard penalty.
Graham called for an illegal shift. 2nd and 15, you got Jim Keenan as a 3rd wideout. Keenan's a 5 at the wide receiver position. So I said they're a little thin when it comes to the passing game, the Bears are, and that's surprising considering how long they have been around. Second and 15 at the 34. And that's a touchdown. Maybe I jinxed him there. Jeff Graham from 34 yards out. His longest catch of the season. Orton with his first touchdown of the game, throwing it. And the kick is good by Gould, and it's 7-0. As I take a sip of water, we have 10:56 left, opening quarter. For the Vikings, it's Harvin, Nelson, and West back deep. Harvin the deep back, and he's going to take it for a touch. Ball will be placed at the 20. Will set the Minnesota offense, the Chicago defense for you. Peterson and Brown are your running backs. Carter and Moss, a very talented wide receiver tandem. Jordan at tight end. Tarkenton at quarter. Zimmerman, McDaniel, Tingelhoff, White, and Yeri are your offensive linemen. Your front four for Chicago: Atkins, Dent, McMichael, Chambers. Your very talented linebacker core for Chicago: Fortunato, Singletary, and Wilbur Marshall. Now remember, Chicago is a combination of the Bears and the old Chicago Cardinals, so that's why you have Night Train Lane in at corner along with Tillman, Carrier, and Fensick. On 1st and 10, you can't go wrong giving the ball to Adrian Peterson. We're going to go trap right with him. Peterson, of course, would go on and play for the Redskins, who are now just the Washington Football Club after they decided not to continue on using the Redskins nickname a few weeks back. A gain of 3, Wilbur Marshall on the tackle. We'll go to Bill Brown on the screen on 2nd and 7. And Brown's got the first down. Not afraid of the traffic jam that was in front of him, but Carrier brings him down at the 34, gain of 11. Back to Peterson, and it's going to be a sweep right. And another nice gain for Peterson. He picks up 8. Last week against Atlanta, he had 110 yards. Each team playing game number 6 in week number 6. They haven't had a bye yet, either team. Trap left Peterson on 2nd and 2. And that's going to get back to the line. A gain of a yard, and that's all. Michael Singletary on the stop. Just think of the inside linebackers alone Chicago has. They have Mike Singletary, they have Ditka Butkus, and they have Brian Urlacher, and I think Butkus is the third stringer. Imagine that. 3rd in the yard, so they'll go double tight end, and they will go to Tarkenton. Tarkenton was not afraid to scramble either. They'll go to him on a dive play. Chicago showing a blitz, but Tarkenton gains 8, and that's a first down. Even back when Tarkenton played his college ball at Georgia, he was known for being a good scrambling quarterback. And if you ever seen some of the NFL films highlight reel on him, he had such a good offensive line, he could literally scramble in the backfield a good 20-25 seconds on some plays. Off tackle right at Adrian Peterson on 1st and 10. Back to the line, and that is all. Wilbur Marshall spins him down. 2nd and 10. Ball at the 49. We'll go to Randy Moss on the medium slant. Looking for 81, not there, incomplete. Now it's 3rd and 10. To look for Chris Carter this time, the wide receiver, not the creator of the X-Files. Medium hitch. Incomplete. That looked like it was going between Harvin and Carter, and there might have been a mix-up on the play. Goldberg hurt. He will be okay. So Minnesota forced to punt on their first series. They're at the Chicago 49. Bob Lee will punt deep and hope it doesn't go all the way for a touchback. Picked up at the 8 by Hester, returned 6 yards. Scott Studwell made the tackle. 1st and 10 at the 14 for Chicago with 6:10 left in the opening quarter. 1st and 10. That is a catch to Graham. Tackled by Bryant, a gain of 16. 1st and 10 at the 30. Sweetness himself, Walter Payton, tackled by Eller. Second and 7 at the 33 after that gain of 3. That's to Peyton. Peyton,
Personal foul. Defense.
a gain of
Number
23
50, 15-yard penalty.
on a flea
Automatic.
flicker.
First down.
And Simeon gives an extra shove. The officials jump on that right away and quickly unfurl their penalty flags at Simeon, and that's 15 more. And it's first and 10 at the Minnesota 29. So you'd think Chicago was the 4-1 team right now. A gain of 1, tackled by Randall. Second and 9 at the 28. The pitch is to Peyton. He loses 4 yards. Carl Eller with a fine defensive play. That sets up third and 13 at the 32. 3:50 now left, opening quarter. 3 wide receivers over the one side. They flooded that side, and they were looking on a button hook to Hill, but Simeon got a finger on it, incomplete. Gould from 49 to make it 10-0, and it's pushed to the right, no good. So not Washington, but Minnesota, I'm thinking of the teams Adrian Peterson's played for. They get it back, first and 10, and they will go long and try to capitalize on the miscue by the Bears. Moss, long past the Moss, but a penalty.
False start. Offense. Number 83, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
That's Jordan, the tight end, called for the false start. They'll screen it to Peterson then on first and 15. That's good. And close to the first down, he got it. A gain of 16. Ball at midfield exactly for this first and 10. They will go back to Peterson, trap left on the double tight end set. Peterson breaks into the secondary. He fumbles the ball, recovered by Chicago. Wilbur Marshall. Johnny on the spot. And Chicago takes over at their own 35. Minnesota a bit out of sync here. They trail 7-0, and now Chicago with a chance to pad to the lead. First and 10, ball to 35. That's a throw, incomplete. Paul Krause with good coverage on that. Walter Payton now behind center, and he's done that a few times in his career. Second and 10 from the 35. They give it to Payton. Payton scored a touchdown against San Francisco, not against I think it was against Los Angeles on such a play. Earlier in the HTFL season, he gains 8 that time. Kind of a wildcat look. Third and 2, ball to 43. Orton again back under center, as would normally be the case.
Grabbing the face mask. Defense.
They get the first
Number
down.
20, 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
And they're going to get 15 more, as this time it was Bryant grabbing the face mask a bit too flagrantly. Could hurt somebody doing that, you know. First and 10 at the Minnesota 36. The Bears again driving. This is to Walter Payton, who gains 14 yards. He has now 61 yards on 9 carries. He also has 1 catch for 23. Should be the last play of the quarter. It will be. Payton gains 7. And we've played a quarter. 7-0 Chicago. Getting ready for quarter number 2. Here's my little news and notes section I like to do after the first quarter. This will be the only game today that I do. Chicago, Minnesota. We'll do 2 games tomorrow, Tuesday. 2 games on Wednesday. And if you are viewing this game before August 20th, that will be our next live stream. We're going to do the Monday Night Football game live, which is actually on a Thursday. Yes, I know. Between New York and Philadelphia. And we're going to try to do the Monday night games on live stream as we go on through them. And that'll be our live stream for this week. And the next live stream after that should be August 30th. And we're going to make our chat that I normally do on the second and last Sundays of the month. We're going to make that a live chat. I haven't picked the starting time on that yet, but the tentative schedule for that will be August 30th. Hoping for 7 o'clock, but I don't know quite just yet. It's still 13 days out. Back to the game. 152 yards of total offense for Chicago. They have run 17 plays, 11 rushes. Minnesota has 62 on 10 plays, 6 rushes. 2nd and 3 at the 15 as we resume play. Here's Payton. Walter Payton has been a one-man wrecking crew so far. That's another gain of 8. He's at 76 yards rushing on the day with his 23-yard catch. He's at 99 total yards of offense. 1st and goal at the 7. A marker, so hold everything.
Offense, number 74, 10-yard penalty.
That's Jimbo Colvert, who gets called for holding. That is a box of M&Ms I am opening up, if you are curious as to what that noise was. There it is. Covert for holding. It's now 1st and goal at the 17. That is Keene, who catches it to 13. Bryant on the stop for the Vikings. 2nd and goal at the 4. To Kelliger. Gains 2. Rhodes on the stop for the Vikes. Now it's 3rd and goal from the 2. Orton looks for Ditka in the end zone, but that's incomplete. And Gould will come on and try a field goal from just 19 yards out. Good. And it's 10-0. And we have 12:49 left in the first half. And yes, I have M&Ms in my mouth. I was hoping the no way guide go on a few more seconds. 1st and 10. It's a kickoff play. Ball at the 35. Here's Harvin. Here goes my voice.
Kicking team.
Minnesota is going to start at the 40. I'm going to let Ray Curtis take over for this possession, with my apologies, folks. We'll let him carry it away, and I'll be back with you in just a moment.
Tarkenton throws incomplete to Peterson. Fortunato on the coverage. Hut! 6-yard gain by Peterson. Marshall on the tackle. Tarkenton throws incomplete to Moss. Tillman on the coverage. "48-yard punt by Lee, out of bounds."
Always good when you got Ray Curtis standing by. Thank you, Ray, for filling in for me for a few plays. I'll teach me try to eat something while I'm doing these games. 1st and 10, ball to 6-4 Chicago. That Minnesota drive stalling, but Chicago has 94 yards to go to get a score of their own. But they lead 10-0. See what they do here. To Payton, a gain of 4. Rhodes on the stop for the Vikes. Bears have pretty much kept them off balance so far in this game. Got to give them credit for that. 2nd and 6 at the 10. Browner nearly picked off a pass. Couldn't hang on to it, so it just falls incomplete. 3rd and 6 now from the 10. To Ditka, and Ditka gains 11. 1st down yardage. Browner on the stop. 1st and 10 at the 21. That's a gain of 4. And that was to Walter Payton. And it was Kraus bringing him down. 2nd and 6 at the 25. Payton, gain of 3. Page on the stop. So the Bears continuing to pile on the yardage. They now have 197 to the Vikings 68. 3rd and 3, ball to 28. They nearly outgained them 3-1 at this point. The Bears have over the Vikings. Gain of 7. Orton to Graham, Byron on the stop for the Vikings. 1st and 10, ball to 36 now. Peyton again, 7 yards. He's now at 94 on the day on 15 carries to go with his 1 catch for 23 yards. 2nd and 3 at the 42. Back to Peyton. Peyton back to the line, and that's it. Dolman on the stop for Minnesota. Now it's 3rd and 3. Critical play here. Ball to 42. They give a little pitch to Peyton. And now Peyton will take a respite. Gain of 4 by Peyton. So he was closing in on 100. Gale Sayers is going to come in to replace him, and that's not a bad second string halfback, I'll tell you that. 1st and 10 at the 46. They tried to get it to Ditka, but that fell incomplete. 2nd and 10 at the 46. To the Kansas Comet, Gale Sayers, and he picks up 5. Gale Sayers, of course, famously once scored 6 touchdowns in one game, the last game of the 1965 season against the 49ers at Wrigley Field in a 61-20 rout. You don't see that many high scores of an NFL game that much these days, but on that one day he scored 6 touchdowns. I believe he's the last to score 6 touchdowns in an NFL game. 3rd and 5 at the 49. Somebody will correct me on YouTube if I'm wrong about that. And let's see, that went to Sayers, a gain of 11. Winston on the tackle. 1st and 10 at the Minnesota 38. The Bears. Sayers, no gain. Blair on the stop. 2nd and 10, ball to 38 still. They have Peyton back in, and they go to him. And Peyton's got 12. Krause on the stop for Minnesota. 1st and 10 at the 26. To Sayers, he gains 8 on the pass. Winston knocks him out at the 18. 2nd and 2. To Sayers, he picks up 8 more. 17th play of the drive. It has already taken 9 minutes off the clock. Touchdown. That's to Graham. He has his 2nd of the day. And it's 16-0 Chicago. He had one earlier from 34 yards out. Now he's got one from 10 yards out. Here's your point after try. It's good. And Chicago just kicking butt and taking names. Here in Minnesota, it's 17-0. Harvin back deep for the Vikings. It's 6 yards deep in his end zone. We'll down it. And we'll see if the Vikings could get anything going here in this second half. Second quarter, I should say. Peterson, pitch right to the tight end side. And that's a gain of a yard. Night Train Lane with the stop. And that's your 2-minute warning call. We are 17-0 Chicago. And this will be a 2nd and 9 play. We'll go to Mr. Harvin on the short cross. Each team with 3 timeouts left. That's incomplete. Looking for Harvin on the short end. There was no room at the end. Medium slant to Steve Jordan on 3rd down. That's caught. And a gain of 14. Vikings will go no huddle. And they will look for Randy Moss on the medium out. Incomplete. Tarkenton, 3 out of 9 for 41 yards. So the Chicago defense doing a number on him. Peterson screen on 2nd and 10. Peterson to the 50 into Bear territory, a gain of 18 against Atlanta last week. Tarkenton threw for 268, 19 out of 35, an interception and a touchdown. Minnesota will call their first time out. We have 1:19 left. And we're going to flood the left side, put the tight end over there so they have 3 receivers on the left side to throw to. And we'll look for Carter. Actually, we're going to look for Randy Moss. Medium fly on 1st and 10 at the Bear 47. Incomplete. Looked like Moss had a step on Tillman, but the pass was not there. 2nd and 10. Ball at the 47 still. This is going to be a slant to Chris Carter. That's incomplete. A buck 8 on the clock now. Screen to Peterson on 3rd and 10. Oh, that's off his hands. And Minnesota's going to be stymied yet again. Way too long to try a 64-yard field goal. Blair Walsh does not have that kind of leg, so it's going to be a sideline punt with Bob Lee. That's down at the 1. Nice job. 46-yard punt. We have 46 seconds left to the half. 17-0, Chicago leading. The Bears with Kelliger. Vikings ran a delayed blitz. Page on the stop. Bears can run one more play. That's to Kelliger again, a gain of 8. And we're at halftime. It's 17-0. Minnesota trailing Chicago. So let's reset the stats at halftime. 280 yards, 280 for Chicago, 101 for Minnesota. Chicago has run 40 plays, 24 rushes. Minnesota 21 plays, 13 passes. Minnesota gets the ball to start the second half. Harvin again back deep. And this is going to be a yard deep, so Harvin's going to try to make something happen here. And he really can't. That was a tackle by Taylor. And that went out to the 22, return to 23. So Tarkenton off to a slow start, 4 out of 13, 59 yards. Payton, probably the offensive standout of the half, 17 carries, 98 yards. He's just too shy of 100. Trap right, Peterson. Chicago was showing blitz, and that play gains 5. Lane on the stop, Night Train Lane for the Bears, even though he was a Chicago Cardinal. Medium cross to Carter. Incomplete. Blanketed by Lane. And now it's 3rd and 5. The look for Peterson on the screen here. Bears are blitzing. Might be right up the Vikings alley. Peterson passed the 40 to the 43. A gain of 16. It'll now be 1st and 10. For the Vikings at their own 43. They trail by 17, so they got to get some sort of score here, I would think. Peterson, trap right, and that's only going to be a gain of a yard. Night Train Lane again. Long fly to Moss on 2nd and 9. Instead, it's a dump to Peterson. Fortunato makes the tackle, a gain of 8. That sets up 3rd and a yard. They'll go back to Tarkenton, and they will go to him on the dive. And he's got another first down, a gain of 5. Urlacher made the stop, as Chicago is playing a 4-4 defense, which is what you want to be playing against the run. And you hope the other team doesn't have a play-action pass up their sleeve. Trap right, Peterson. 1st and 10. That's going to be a gain of 4. Wilbur Marshall on the stop for the Bears. 8th play of the drive coming up here for the Vikings. We'll go to Percy Harvin on the short slant. Tarkenton will instead run. He's at the 30 to 25, down to the 21. Gain of 18. Now it's a 1st and 10 at the 21. Peterson, off tackle right. Peterson gets the first down there. Gain of 13. He's down to the 8. double tight end set. They're going to go to Tarkenton again. Sweep to the left. Can he turn the corner? No, he can't. In fact, he loses 4 yards. Atkins picked him up and shoved him out of bounds. Viking fans did not like that. So they go to the well one time too many. And it's going to be 2nd and goal from the 12. This will be play number 11 of the drive. Off tackle right, Peterson. That gets 6 yards back. 3rd and 6. They'll look for Jordan on the cross. That's a touchdown. Steve Jordan puts the Vikings on the board, and you hear the crowd going crazy at US Bank. Here's your point after. It's good. Walsh puts it through, and it's 17-7. 7:12 left in the 3rd quarter, and here is Hester back. Touchback. So now, if the Vikings defense could get something going here, we might have a game. 1st and 10 at the 20. To Peyton. Peyton now over 100 yards on the day. That picks him to 110. Gain of 12. They have not been able to stop Walter Payton all day. 1st and 10 at the 32. Another pitch to Payton. And close to another 1st down. He gains 9 more. 2nd and 1 at the 41. Wouldn't have been a bad time for the Bears to try a play action, but they get the 1st down instead. Jory Browner coming out for a few plays. So Smith will come in to replace him. Harrison Smith out of Notre Dame. Sounds like a guy who would be playing for Notre Dame. Harrison Smith. 1st and 10. Ball at the 42. Another nice gain for Peyton, but it's a fumble, and the Vikings are going to take over. Rhodes pounced on the ball after it popped loose like a bottle of baby oil, and the Vikings are going to take over. Well, I don't think it's time to mess around. They're going to go long bomb the Moss here. First play. Try to get something going. Incomplete. And it'll now be 2nd and 10. We're going to screen at the Peterson, short pass at the Peterson. Actually, I was trying to get him to screen it, but Butterfingers me. Gain of 6. Marshall with the put down. And it's going to be 3rd and 4. Short pass. Looking for Moss. Caught. 1st down. And a gain of 10. And that was the first catch today for Randy Moss. Adrian Peterson has 5 catches today, 64 yards so far. He also has 13 carries and 83 yards. So he has not had a bad running day of his own. It's just been overshadowed by what Walter Payton has done. Off tackle left, Peterson. That's a gain of 4. Singletary on the stop for the Bears. It's now going to be 2nd and 6, ball at the 33. They'll go to Brown on the screen. And Brown's got a 1st down. He is unafraid of the traffic. It almost looks like he runs in the crowds, try to knock tacklers down. He gained 12 yards that time. 1st and 10, ball to Chicago 21, and Minnesota trying to make a game of it. They were down 17-0 at the start of the 2nd half, and now they could cut it to a score. Trap left Peterson, but we're going to run a screen to Peterson instead because Chicago is blitzing. Incomplete. Tarkenton in a little too much of a hurry to get the ball off. And yeah, you got 2nd and 10. We'll go to Brown. Sweep left. And that's going to be a gain of 4. Singletary on the stop. Now it's going to be 3rd and 6. Short pass. And they're going to look for Percy Harvin here. It's completed to Jordan, who gains 10. Ball is now at the 7. It's going to be first and goal. Peterson. Trap right. He makes it to the 3, and that'll do it for the third quarter. 17-7, Chicago. Our next game, which we will do tomorrow, the 18th of August, will be San Francisco and Denver. That'll be a good one. And then don't forget that our Monday night game, technically our Monday night game, the game at the end of the week, New York at Philadelphia, that will be live streamed at 7 o'clock Thursday night, August 20th. Hopefully my local weather will cooperate at that time, and we will bring you that game via StreamYard, which I've been using for my live streams. Anyway, back to this game. We have 15 minutes left, 313 yards for Chicago, 44 plays, 28 rushes, 229 for Minnesota, so they have crept up a little bit. They have run 42 plays. Chicago ran 44, Minnesota's run 42. 23 of those 42 Minnesota has run have been passes. Second and goal, ball at the 3, just a straight dive to Bill Brown. Touchdown, and we have a game. Chicago with 17 unanswered to start, and now Minnesota a point after away from 14 unanswered of their own. It's good, and it's 17-14, and we are just beginning in this fourth quarter. As the Carpenters used to sing, we've only just begun. Okay, here we go. Hester back deep for the Bears. Touchback. First and 10, ball to 20. This is Walter Payton, a gain of 7. Rhodes on the stop. Sweetness has had a very good game so far. He has 22 rushes, 138, 2 catches, 35. So 173 yards total offense from Walter Payton. Second and 3, ball to 27. This is to Payton. Payton's going to get stuffed behind the line. He loses a yard. Simeon on the tackle for the Vikes. Crucial play here, 3rd and 4. Orton. I think he was looking for Payton, but it was overthrown. Simeon on the coverage, and the Vikes are going to get the ball back with a chance to tie or take the lead. Here's your punt. Not a good punt, or so it didn't appear to me. Brown punted the ball 37 yards, returned 8 by West. And now the Vikings take over at their own 45, 1st and 10. They will go off tackle right to Peterson. And he gets stuffed at the line, no gain. Wilbur Marshall on the tackle. I will not go into graphic detail, but when you knew, if you read any of the books, there was a book called The Game Behind the Game by Terry O'Neill, and John Madden would often point out to Terry O'Neill that you knew he was he was psyched up because a certain part of his body would expand, and that's a private part of the body if you catch my drift there, folks. But Madden would tell Terry O'Neill in the book that a certain part of the body would be noticeably larger when he was psyched and when he would make a big play. And Madden could see it and relate it to Terry O'Neill. Things you learn in an HTFL game, folks. Okay, 2nd and 10, ball to 45. Slant to Randy Moss. Now, come to think of it, I think it was Otis Wilson that his would get a little expansive if he made a good play. It might not have been Wilbur Marshall. It might have been Otis Wilson. So, Wilbur, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I've given you any false attributes. But anyway, back to the play. There's a slant to Moss, and he gained 18. There was a fumble on the play. Tillman forced a fumble. Jordan pounced on it, and the Vikes still have the ball. See what happens when I go on tangents, folks? First and 10, ball at the 37. Pretty sure it was Otis Wilson now that the more I think about it. Hey, it's been a long time since I've read that book. Sweep left, Peterson, first and 10. Can he turn the corner? No, he gains 2 and that's it. Singletary, a gain of 2. I'm still laughing thinking about that, folks. Adrian Peterson pitch right on 2nd and 8. Marker before the play.
Start. Offense. Number 73, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Okay, get serious, Paulie. Yeri, false start offense. It's now 2nd and 13. Medium fly to Percy Harvin. I'm still cracking up, folks. I'm sorry. Gain of 15 as Tarkenton threw it to Harvin. Dent may have been hurt on that last play. Atkins is in. Dud Atkins. Just shows you how loaded the Chicago defense is in. You know, you lose one stud, you bring in another. First and 10, ball to 25. Peterson, off tackle right. Chicago playing a little bunched up, looking for the shorter tight play. Gain of 6. Atkins now hurt. He's out for the game, and they bring in Sprinkle to replace him, Ed Sprinkle. You see him there. Also play a little tight end. 2nd and 4. They'll go to Brown on a dive. No gain. 3rd and 4. They'll go 3 wide. Put a man in motion and go to Randy Moss on the short slant. Incomplete. Walsh will come in and try a 36-yarder. Odds of making this is 64%, but
5-yard penalty.
Zimmerman with the false start, so his odds go down to 57. But it's good, and we have a brand new game. Each team has taken turns putting up 17 unanswered points, and we're now tied at 17 with 10 minutes left to go in quarter number 4. Hester back deep for the Bears. It's going to be a touchback. Chicago takes over at their own 20. First and 10. Orton looks for Ditka, and it's incomplete. Tipped in the air by Blair. Now a 2nd and 10 at the 20. We have 9:54 left. Long throw. Caught to Graham. He gains 38. And Jeff Graham has a 100-yard receiving day. He's at 111. First and 10, ball at the 42. To Peyton, he gains 3. So now it's going to be 2nd down and 7. No updates on the Lightning Blue Jackets game going on as I record this. 2nd and 7, ball at the 38. A gain of 3. Page on the tackle. 3rd and 4, ball at the 36. Incomplete. So Gould's going to come on and try a 53-yarder. He missed one from about this distance earlier in the game. And he misses again, pushes it right. No good. Now it's advantage Minnesota because any score gives them the lead, and they take over at their own 43. 7.5 left in quarter number 4. Trap right, Peterson. Bears are blitzing, so it's going to be a screen instead. Incomplete. Sprinkle, by the way, is the defensive end wearing number 7. 2nd and 10. Ball, the 43. We're going to go off tackle right, Peterson. Lane makes the tackle after a 6-yard gain. 3rd and 4. Ball is at the 49. Yeah, it had to be Otis Wilson because Wilbur Marshall came to the Bears later than that. Marshall was 1988. And the reference John Madden made to Otis Wilson expanding one of his body parts was a game NBC did during Super Bowl 20. Is Otis Wilson on the team, by the way? So I would take a look. Doesn't appear to be. And he told Terry O'Neill that the NBC guys didn't have any idea that Otis Wilson was psyched up because a certain body part expanded. 3rd and 4. Steve Jordan short hitch. Incomplete. 4th down and 4. So now the Vikings have to punt. They're going to go to the sideline and Bob Lee here. Back deep. That's not a great punt at all. Punt of only 30. Out of bounds at the 21. They keep it away from Hester. That's the good news. But the bad news is Bears are going to get a little better starting position. We are tied 17 all, 6:20 left. 1st and 10 at the 21. That is to Ditka and Iron Mike, who coached that Super Bowl 20 team I have been referring to. Gains 14. Of course, he had a very famous feud with Buddy Ryan that year. And the Bears defense responded by lifting Ryan off the field as the rest of the team lifted Mike Ditka off the field when they beat New England 46-10 that year. 1st and 10, ball to 35. To Payton, gains 9 yards, and Walter Payton now at 152 on the day, rushing the ball. Of course, he didn't score a touchdown in Super Bowl 20. Walter Payton didn't, but William Perry did. In fact, William Perry tried to throw one in, famously in the early part of Super Bowl 20. 2nd and 1, ball at the 44. I think my anecdotes are putting you all to sleep. Nothing at all there for Peyton. Eller on the stop. 3rd and 1. Ball at the 44. Can Peyton get the first? Oh, yes, he can. And he breaks free. 30. Inside the 25 to the 23. That's a season high rushing for Peyton now at 185 after that last game. 1st and 10. Ball at the 23. We have 4:05 left, 4th quarter. To Ditka. He gains 13. Kraus on the tackle. Ball at the 10. 1st and goal. Incomplete. Broken up by Winston. Horrible throw by Orton, we're being told. Looking for Hill. 2nd and goal at the 10. Be a 27-yard field goal from here, but a fumble. Not a fumble. Orton scrambled. Looked like Eller might have popped the ball loose. It did not. A gain of 1. And 2:26 left to go now. 3rd and goal at the 9. Looking for Ditka. Incomplete. 2:01 left. The field goal try by Gould will be good. And it's 20-17 as we go to the 2-minute warning. Harvin back deep for the Vikings. Critical possession for them to stay in this game. It's going to be 3 yards deep. Harvin will return it, as he's been known to break one, but not this time. Goes out to the 20. Zuko makes the stop for the Bears. Moss, medium out on 1st and 10. Looking, but incomplete. Tillman provided defensive coverage for the Bears. We'll go to Harvin on the short slant with a blitz by the Bears on 1st and 10. Each team all 3 timeouts. That's incomplete. 3rd and 10. Peterson on the screen. Try to cut down the yardage a little bit. But he gets the first fumble, recovered by the Bears, and 6 points. And that should do it. Tillman picked up Peterson's fumble, returned it 32 yards, and the Bears looking like they will go to the winner's circle today. Here's your point after. It's good, 27-17 with 1:25 left. Harvin again, back deep for the Vikings. Short kick, taken by somebody. It was a squib kick. Zimmerman returned at 6, and Buffoni, with the tackle. Long out to Harvin on 1st and 10. That's complete. A gain of 29. The clock did not stop, so the Vikings are going to use a timeout. Moss, medium slant, off his hands. Tarkenton today, 15 of 33, 200 yards and a touch. But they are in field goal range, although I'm sure they would like to get closer. Cross to Carter. Incomplete. Now a 3rd and 10. They'll go to Jordan on the cross. That's incomplete, but a marker.
Pass interference, defense. Number 99, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
They get Goldberg for the pass interference. See what I did there? Ball to 14, 1st and goal. To Jordan on the short out. Caught, and a touchdown. So the Vikings quickly answer. It only took them 30 seconds to go down the field and score. Here's Walsh with the extra point. Vikings only had to use one timeout, so they still have 2 left. But they need this onside kick. It's 27-24. Drum roll, please. Brrr. Who got it? Butkus got it. Butkus is playing special teams for the Bears. That's how loaded this Bear defense is. 36 seconds to go. Bears should be able to hold on here, but let's see. They go to Peyton. A tackle by Simeon. Vikings will burn a timeout. We thought the Eagles and the Bills were going overtime week 1 until a late fumble changed the trajectory of that game. And the Bills won at 37-34. I think that's the only game the Bills have won today. 2nd and 12 at the 47. Orton to throw to Ditka. Oh my goodness. Gain of 9. 3rd and 3. All they got to do is take a knee here. And they finally do. And that's your game. 27-24, Chicago beats Minnesota. And maybe it was just a matter of time before Chicago broke through and won one. There's your scoring summary. It was 17-17. Looked like the Bears might have choked that 17-0 lead, but they came back and got 10 unanswered before Minnesota scored late. 439, the total yardage for Chicago, 333 for Minnesota. We had 9 penalties, very clean game, 10 penalties actually. Chicago ran 63 plays, 38 rushes out of those 63. Chicago ran 60 plays, 35 were passes, 23-19 were the final first downs. Chicago turned it over once, Minnesota twice. Player of the game, I think, has to go to Peyton with his 183 yards rushing. But you knew sooner or later the Bears were going to break loose. And they were able to get out to the early lead, and they were able to hang on late for the 27-24 win. So, what does this do to the standings? Move Chicago to 2-4. They think they beat Detroit week 1 in the head-to-head tiebreaker. Yes, they did. Minnesota is still going to be first in the upper north as they beat Green Bay week 1. And like I said, our next game, let's see who got the MVP honors. Yes, it was Peyton. I'm sorry, it was not. It was Tarkenton. Tarkenton got player of the game, which strikes me odd. San Francisco and Denver, Kansas City and Seattle tomorrow. Then on Wednesday, San Diego, Las Vegas, Arizona, Los Angeles. And then we play on the live stream Thursday night, New York at Philadelphia. Again, your final today, 27-24, Chicago pulling it out over the Vikings. And this has been Big Paulie coming to you. We're glad you stayed with us all throughout this last hour or so as I brought this game to you. Wish you Godspeed and God bless, and we'll do it all again next time. Bye-bye for now, everybody.